Powered by Riverside.
It's the Dynasty front office, and we are building you championships one trade at a time.
I'm your host, Mike Casper, and we are here for our 2026 Rookie Prospect Profile of the Week. How you guys doing? You guys enjoy the Combine?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
How
man,
are you?
that was a blast.
Yeah.
I love that. I love all the skill positions going Saturday now.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to change where it's at. I feel like Indy looks like a dump compared to a lot of the new domes, but I don't know. I guess it's in the middle of the country, so that's why they have it there.
Yeah.
Easier for
People
everybody.
always say the track's fast, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like-
Oh,
Yeah.
It certainly was this week.
that's
got
good
that
for
right.
them, right? Cool. Well, we're going to talk about one this week. We're going to talk about Chad's boy, Jadarian Price. So, Jadarian Price, running back out of Notre Dame. Oh, I didn't get his age. Woo! I screwed up this week. I had everything else. But he's 5'11", 209, I think, at the prospect. He was 202, Chad, right? I guess we should
203, yeah.
start getting the official stuff now. So, obviously, he's the 1B to Love. So in 2025, he only had 113 carries, but he had 674 yards, 11 touchdowns. Also had 6 receptions for 87 yards and 2 touchdowns. And 2024, pretty similar workload, 120 carries, 746 yards, but only 7 touchdowns, and only 4 receptions there. In 2023, he was just kind of getting his feet wet, so not a whole lot of production there, just 272 yards rushing, 65 yards receiving. Some advanced stats, though, we got for Jadarian Price here. 3.9 yards after contact per attempt per PFF tracking data is pretty good. Led power for RBs in season with 4.5 yards after carry per attempt. Definitely shows elite post-contact production. Around 31 forced missed tackles on 113 carries, 24 runs of 10-plus yards in one season. He's got a 27% explosive run rate and multiple 20-plus yard runs. He's earned strong PFF rushing grades, played a Notre Dame explosive change of pace back to complement their two-back system. I did also want to add he's pretty special team, has some good special teams value, as pretty elite kick return production. Every year he's had a touchdown, so he had 10 returns for 300 yards and a touchdown this year, 450 yards and 2 touchdowns the year before that, and 794 yards and 3 touchdowns the year before that. So always showing some production in the kick return game. So
It's
Chad,
crazy. It's just on 22 returns.
Yeah. 3 touchdowns on 22
That's pretty
returns.
crazy.
I don't
And
know,
they
as long,
were all
as long
like-
as 99, 100, 100. So it's not like
Yeah, they were
he's
all
got-
really impressive returns, like kickoff returns. If you haven't seen them, go watch them.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see him because I mean, obviously he'll be getting more run in the NFL with the different kickoff rules than they are in college. So, Chad, this is your boy. Tell us what we need to know about Jadarian Price.
Yeah, I mean, you
What-
covered a lot there. But he's an interesting back. The situation is obviously different, right? So there's a lot of kind of statistical mainframes that people try to use to find people that fit into the framework of the ideal profile, and that's really hard to do with him. But just watching him, he's an incredible player, especially in a light class. I really like his toughness. I think he's pretty decisive. There are moments where he's dancing behind the line of scrimmage a little bit, and that kind of can, I kind of chalk that up to, because you see it in some games and you don't see it in others. But I kind of chalk that up to a player not getting a full workload and trying to make the big plays happen, which he has been able to do. He's 94th percentile in breakaway run rate. And one of the things that's consistently impressive to me is his ability to make tacklers miss, right? So when Love comes out of the game, and we all know what Love is, right? He is blue chip as blue chip gets, at least in my opinion. I think the vast majority of people's opinion. But when Love comes out of the game, their missed tackle force rate, exact same over their careers. So you're not really getting much of a drop off. You're seeing average 4.3 yards after contact over the career of Price, which is 97th percentile of all running backs. And these are all really small sample sizes, but you see the play, right? Like if you watch the reps that he's getting over a career, even though it's only around 120, there's a pattern to it. It's not like he's not a really streaky player. He's just a very explosive player who's able to do a lot of small things that I can really appreciate. The one question mark that I have is he gonna be a running back that is a 1-2 down back, or are they going to expand his game in the NFL? I think that he's going to be able to expand his game just off of a little bit of the hints that I've got from the combine, from people talking about his ability as a pass catcher. But it's production that you're not seeing because Jeremiah Love got literally all of the, passing downs, as he should, because that's what he does best. So yeah, I'm excited to see what's next for him. Jadarian Price was he was a back that could have went to so many different programs, nearly any program in the country, and he was sought after and wouldn't leave Notre Dame. I think there's some respect there as well for me, where you have a guy that is found a home in a program which you don't really find in college football anymore. I like the work ethic. I like the type of person he is as well, which is a small part of it, but it's part of it. So.
I was going to say, Chad, so the person that came to mind when you were talking about just kind of patient runners, sometimes too patient, really explosive, does he have any Kenneth Walker stuff at all? That's what came to my mind.
Some people say that. I think the best comp that I've come up with as far as like a ceiling is Dalvin Cook. That's the guy that I think, as far as not just the size, not just the athletic profile, but also Dalvin Cook coming out of college had a little bit of the same explosive play potential, but maybe not doing it as consistently as they could, or not doing the little things as consistently as they could, like fighting for the smaller yards and stuff like that. So, and obviously him coming out of Florida State got a lot more work than Jadarian Price did, so the sample size was a lot bigger, but there was definitely some projection there. I think on the high end, Dalvin Cook, especially what he was in the league, for me, even going further, I think Jadarian Price, that's the outlook. Maybe middle ground, Tony Pollard is kind of that mid tier, and then I'm not really going to talk about bust, kind of who I think he could be as a bust, but
maybe Jesse will cover that.
No, I don't think him and Caleb Johnson are similar at all. I don't think they're similar at all.
No, they're not similar backs.
All right, Jesse, give us your stuff, and I know you got some negative stuff, so let it spill.
I mean, I don't want to just be negative about it. I like Jadarian Price. There are things that concern me, though. His style didn't fully match his workout at the combine. So let's just look at his combine numbers real quick. I know we're going to do this in another segment, but I'd like to include it in his profile as well. Oh. So 30 and 7/8 inch arms, 9 and 5/8 inch hands. I don't really care about the arms. The hands are nice. I mean, it's a good enough size. 4.49 40 with a 1.61 split is not what I expected out of him. It's very confusing to me because on film he looks fast and explosive, with good burst. So maybe that just doesn't translate to the 40. We see it on the film. So that's what
tracking does have him at almost 22 miles per hour this past season.
Okay. I mean, I believe that. That's what it looks like on tape. So that's 100% believable. So maybe it just doesn't translate to track. So who cares?
Yeah.
Or maybe he just had a bad day running. His jumping numbers were good. He had a 35-inch vertical and a 10-4 broad. And 21 reps on the bench press. So he's, I mean, if you look at him, he looks jacked. So, I mean, there's no strength issues there. The negative for me is that I think he bounces things a bit too much. He does things He does things that work in the college game that are not going to work in the pro game. It's not his whole game. So I'm not saying he won't translate. I just think he's going to have to learn some different tricks, especially when he gets to the second level. He tends to try to use his speed just to outrun guys, and that'll work in college. But he's not that type of burner that's going to work for him in the pros. I'd say that and the lack of the pass catching profile are what really bother me about him. I call him, in my mind, I call him slow Kenneth Walker, but he's not slow. But he's also not.
He's not slow.
I mean, Ken Walker has just breakaway speed. You know, he ran a 4.3 something at the combine. So there is a different level.
That's why I'm saying Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook. I mean, we know he's an explosive. He was an explosive player as well, but
he wasn't
4.49,
like
1.56 split. You know, it's
Dalvin. So Dalvin had a receiving profile, if I remember correctly, out of college.
I'm not. I mean, that's just opportunity, right?
Riley
like
Leonard isn't exactly the greatest quarterback of all time in Notre Dame history to be throwing the ball too. So.
Wow.
Love's getting a lot of it, but
it's like more that Love sucked all of that air out of the room. You know, Love is so good at that.
When you have a player like Jeremiah Love ahead of you, you can't knock a guy for, you know, his passing chops if he's just not going to get the opportunity because the best back in the country is ahead of him. You know,
but he also wasn't good at it. Like I don't want to discredit him for not getting the usage, but when he did, he just wasn't good at it. Like he didn't look natural to me receiving the ball. And maybe that's because you're watching Love.
I thought he was
sure.
I thought he was fine.
I guess.
I thought he was fine at it, and he's never dropped a pass in his career. So I mean, you get Jadarian Price in space, he's going to make plays.
He doesn't have. One thing you can say is that he doesn't have the experience doing it. So it is something that he's going to have to learn in the NFL. So you might not see it as maybe he has 30 catches. Maybe that's his ceiling in his rookie year. It's 30 catches if he gets full-time work. I'm saying if he were to be a full-time 3-down back his rookie year, which I don't think is a likely bet, but if he were, that maybe his ceiling is around 30 catches in his rookie year, but that can improve. He's obviously a hard worker. He's a good athlete. Like Chad said, he didn't drop any passes, so he can learn. You know, you can learn to run an arrow route in the NFL.
It's going to be interesting. I do agree there that there's a lot of projection. The one area that I am a little concerned about, which I mean, there's just so many backs that it just translates completely. It just translates completely different than what you're anticipating. But that's the pass blocking, and we've talked about this before. It's something that players just have to get into the league and learn how to do better. But there are some kind of technique issues for me. Definitely like a willing blocker. You know, he'll go out there and give it a go. But I thought Jeremiah Love was a better blocker, and it was pretty, apparent.
Yeah. All right. What about you, Austin? Let's hear what you guys say about him. Maybe some comparables too, and where you would have taken him.
I was actually going to start with a comparable. Y'all know how big of a fan of this player I was coming out, so I don't want it to sound like an insult, but I have him as like a watered-down Javonte.
Okay.
Javonte, to me, had a lot better wiggle in between the tackles and one-step burst coming out. Injuries have kind of zapped that a little bit, so he doesn't look that way now, but it's kind of how he's a good running back. Like, I don't want to act like I don't like him. He's my RB2, and he's probably going to stay there safely. Part of that's because of the class, but he just feels like a safe guy, one of those guys he's probably going to go second round and be in a nice timeshare and get a good amount of work. I don't really see him as I think pretty much any team would want a pass catching receiver with him or back with him until we see otherwise. I did want to bring up, he did rupture his Achilles, just something to look out for. It was his freshman year, but just something to pay attention to. Other than that, I mean, my biggest knock, quote unquote, would be the the way he is a one cut runner, I didn't feel like he burst well out of the one cut. Like I thought he had good top end speed, but I didn't feel like the first 5 to 7 yards after the cut, he would kind of jolt through. Which I guess the 161 makes a little bit of sense with that. But yeah, I mean, I like him. He's a clear RB2 in the league for me. Like I don't think he's a clear RB1.
Where would you have taken him last year's rookie draft, do you think? And then where do we think he'll end up this year?
I looked at that today. Probably right around pre-draft where I would have taken Dylan Sampson and Devin Neal right below Scadaboo.
Okay.
So I think that's RB6-ish in the class last year.
If he's a second round RB, do we think he's a first round rookie pick this year?
Yeah, he's going to be just because of how needy it is in this class.
And how few there are.
Yeah.
Interesting. Is he worth it there because of the class?
Sure.
Yeah,
sure. Okay. Yeah. I mean, he's a good enough back to return a late first value. I just don't have the higher ceiling view on him.
I would have him. So if he was in last year's class, it would totally depend on. He would be in that group that it depended on capital and landing spot, like R.J. Harvey and Caleb Johnson and Dylan Sampson. I had a whole cluster of those guys. He would be in there. He'd be towards the top of that list. I probably like him more than I liked R.J. Harvey. He's got way different profile. I don't know. It's a good question. If he were all right, I'll say this: if he were to have been taken by the Steelers instead of Caleb Johnson, he would have been my fifth back.
Yeah, I definitely liked him above Caleb's tape last year.
Worthy of a first round pick.
Okay. Anyway,
I would have had him as my RB5 behind Judkins.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anywhere we'd like to see him?
Right ahead of your boy in Denver.
Harvey.
Yeah, you were big on Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, I looked up Dalvin Cook. So it's actually a pretty good comp. Same height. Dalvin was a little heavier. Hands are around the same size. Dalvin's arms are a little longer. Same 40, 449. Around the same. Well, I guess Dalvin had a little better split at 156, but his jumping wasn't nearly as good. Bench press was the same. So the measurables look pretty good. Dalvin just had tons of production coming out. So, but if you remember, Dalvin also had an ACL coming out too, didn't he? So there was the injury issues. But yeah, seems like a pretty good comp. Tony Pollard has the same pretty much measurables all around. I don't think
physically they're similar. I don't think they're similar.
No, I was going to say I don't think
at all.
Yeah, I don't think they're the same kind of back. I actually like Price better than I like Pollard. So
I do think they're pretty similar coming out. I do think their profile was fairly similar coming out.
I think Price shows more burst.
I'm sorry, I'm breaking up a little bit. What'd you say?
Price shows more burst to me than.
No. I'm sorry. I was breaking up. I thought we were talking about Dalvin Cook. Are we talking about Tony Pollard?
Yeah, Pollard.
Yeah. I agree there. But I think that's a good middle. I think that's a good middle of the road. I mean, Tony Pollard was a pretty decent.
Yeah, he's
NFL
had good years.
Yeah,
he ended this season strong. You know, if you had him on your roster in the playoffs by some chance, he was startable.
Do you guys think? What do you guys think the floor is for him? Because I think we have to talk about it, right? Because there's so much projection, right? Everybody's just kind of taking their best guess at what he's going to be based off of 120
Braylon Allen sees. That's what I would be scared of.
Yeah,
not the type of player.
That was not all that bad, actually.
Yeah, Braylon Allen, I think, could have been a starting NFL running back on the right team. I just think draft capital kind of killed him.
Yeah, that's why I said usage, not the player itself.
Yeah, the scary thing with Price is if he gets drafted with somebody that's better than him. If he goes to a place that already has a back that's better than him. You know, like what happened with Sharp.
Yeah, I just don't think that most teams are going to do that in the second round. I think he's almost a lock for the second round.
I mean,
He went to the
Seattle-
Ravens.
Seattle did it.
Yeah,
the
Seattle
Ravens
did it, but I just don't see a lot of teams doing that. That's
Right.
that was a shock when the Seattle did that.
It really was. It's messed things up for years.
Yeah. But they won a Super Bowl, so they can't complain.
Yeah, after
Raven-
Sharp got
They
hurt.
drafted so well.
Sharp got hurt. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Sharp had to
Ravens
go
would be-
down, and
It
then
doesn't
and then
matter
the
who they
back they
draft.
should have been playing got MVP.
Yeah.
Ravens would be a really good landing spot, in my opinion, because I think they're going to try to be a running team. It's going to be messy, so it'll cause them to fall down
Yeah.
the board.
Year
I'll
or
be able to
two.
get them.
Yeah.
Houston is where
I'll be
I
able to
would
get
go.
them late second or early
Houston.
third.
Yeah.
Houston would be
Houston with
great.
Woody Marks would be ideal for me.
Nice.
Mixon
yeah.
still,
I would like
they
that
said
too.
the GM said he didn't even know if
He's going to
Mixon's
play
had
football,
surgery
right?
or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that.
Oh, yeah, I don't think he's coming back.
So I think that would be a great fit alongside Marks.
I really like the Chiefs. If the Chiefs don't go Love, I really like the Chiefs in the second round. I think that'd be a fun landing spot.
Those are both good landing spots for any back.
Yeah.
Really starved.
Cool. All right. Anything? Well, I'm sorry. I should update y'all. He's 22 years old, by the way. So,
Oh,
Jadarian
yeah.
Price, 22 years old. So, young guy. You guys got any other notes for Jadarian Price?
That's about it. I mean, I think he could sneak into the late first round with ideal landing spot and draft capital, but we're probably looking at a mid to late second rounder.
And
Let me-
what,
Like what happened with Corum could also happen with it.
you're talking about in rookie drafts?
Yes.
I think barring he doesn't go to somewhere that he's like behind Jonathan Taylor or something like that he's going to be a late first
And
in most
late
drafts.
I got to ask you guys because I just traded the 110, actually. So, I just traded the 110 for Saquon Barkley.
Oh, I
What do you
saw
guys
that. It
think
was a good
about
trade.
that?
Yeah,
You guys think
I'll,
about
I'll
that?
take Saquon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a good trade for you.
Interesting. All right.
I thought it was a good
Want some
trade for
thoughts on
both
it?
sides. If you have
it was something I
Saquon,
was thinking about. I was competing, so, but yeah.
Yeah, if you need
If you have
Saquon,
Saquon,
you need
who's a-
Saquon.
29-year-old back, if you can get 110 for him, then it's not a loss.
All right, cool. Well, next week, gentlemen, we will be doing wide receiver Omar Cooper Jr. So this has been your
Nice.
prospect profile.
Oh,
Thanks, guys.
That's you, Jesse.
Good time.
That's me. Okay.
Cue.
buddy.
Drop. Boom.
Ladies
Bum.
and gentlemen, welcome to the front office. The lights are low, the boards are lit, and the dynasty clock is ticking. From the heart of the startup draft to the championship throne, one crew rules the long game. Give it up for the undisputed architects of empire.